thunderstorms as they continue to roll through.
They can keep it on when the power is out, and we're looking at Encore right now, and the number of outages has been going up and up here in just these past couple of minutes, mainly along that area that you keep referring to, Irving, coming into that Love Field area and into Dallas. Just past couple of minutes, it's gone up to more than 4,000 affected customers, and as you know, Pete, a customer, maybe a house that has multiple people in it. And so you certainly don't want to be caught in a situation like this, not able to access the information anymore if it's still in your area. So that app is a very good thing to have.
And that's Jason Wheeler. And Jason, we're glad you're here in the studio with Jesse and I. Jesse, I know you've been looking behind the scenes at a lot of activity, looking at the radar. Give us an update on that, please.
Yeah, like the things we're tracking here, we were talking about earlier, we're going to have a couple of storms develop along the dry line. That's this stuff here. And then the secondary portion of severe risk that we're going to be watching will be along the cold front. And what I've done here, and this looks a little weird probably, but I've really heightened the sensitivity on our radar. So it's picking up on more than just rain. It's picking up on dust and bugs and whatnot. So you see this line right here, this dark black line right here from Mineral Wells all the way up to where this cluster of storms is in Cook County. That's the cold front. And once you're behind the cold front, which would include areas like Decatur and Alvord and soon to be Rome, Mineral Wells, and Weatherford, you're in the clear of severe weather. So ahead of that, there may be some additional development along this very line you see here. So, Sanger right now looks like it's going to avoid anything, but ahead of it, Louisville will still stay on alert for some severe weather. And then there's that line again. That's where more storms could develop. I want to actually go to temperatures here. There it is. You can really see where the cold front is. So this is rain-cooled air here in the Metroplex. This is where you still have 80-degree temperatures, and what's moving our way, you have middle 50s over toward Wichita Falls. So you can see where that cold front is, and as that front starts to move to the southeast, there will still at least be that chance for some severe weather, and that's what we're seeing here. So these are the cells that popped up ahead of the dry line. Now we've got that severe thunderstorm warning for Rockwall County, as well as eastern Dallas County, northern Kaufman, and parts of Hunt County too. Hail could be maybe up to the size of ping pongs, maybe a little bit ping pong balls, maybe golf ball size. And we'll continue to watch the risk for a tornado threat. Remember, we have a tornado watch for practically all of North Texas until 8 o'clock this evening. So even though we have no tornado warnings, like we've seen several times already, these cells can kind of cycle up, cycle down. So we had the tornado warning in Tarrant County. It was canceled. That very cell started to move into Dallas County, got right over Irving. Hail core popped up, started to rotate. We had another tornado warning in Dallas County. That one also started to dissipate a little bit, so we'll continue. That's that cell right there. So the cell that's had the rotation in the tornado warnings, now in northeastern Dallas County, soon to be Rockwall County too. Right now, it's semi-organized. There's still a little bit of organization there, so we'll continue to watch for at least the risk for, it's not a zero threat for tornadoes. We've said it's a low risk today, and we've said the main threat today is going to be very large hail. We're seeing that. We've seen videos and pictures and confirmation of that. So we'll watch that cell, watching this cluster, and then the other threat that we have now in the very urban areas of Tarrant and Dallas counties, flash flooding. Very, very heavy rain falling in a very short amount of time. That can overwhelm all the drainage. That's why we have that flash flood warning in effect for Tarrant and Dallas County. So we've got these clusters of storms, kind of a messy setup we have here. These clusters of storms that formed along the dry line earlier. We've got the cold front moving in with severe thunderstorm warnings for Cook and Grayson counties, and a supercell down here in Johnson County, soon to be Ellis County, that has produced a very large hail potential, as well as, again, tornado watch till 8. Can't rule out a quick spin up, Pete.
Yes, and Jesse, you're absolutely right. That tornado warning, that thunderstorm down in Johnson County, that's produced some golf ball to baseball size hail. We have that confirmed that there's been tennis ball and baseball size hail at Walmart in Johnson County. That's in Cleburne specifically. So we want folks to not take this too lightly. And we are not going to go to world news, which we typically would do at 5:30 with David Muir. We're going to stay with our severe weather continuous coverage, and that all starts here in just a couple of seconds as you watch this line of severe thunderstorms move across the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Good evening again, everyone. I'm WFAA Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus. This is our continuous severe weather coverage. We have a tornado watch that's in effect for all of North Texas until 8 o'clock tonight. We have had 2 tornado warnings, one for Dallas County, one for Tarrant County. We have severe thunderstorm warnings right now for Tarrant County, also for Dallas County, for Grayson County, for Johnson County, for Ellis County. We even have one down here off to the east of, I should say off to the west of Waco. As these thunderstorms continue to roll through the area, we still have the concern for tornadoes. Obviously, we still have a tornado watch in effect until 8 o'clock tonight for all of North Texas. Southeast Texas, you are not under this, but you will certainly feel the punch of this strong cold front here over the next several hours. So a tornado watch is in effect, multiple severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. We've had multiple reports of anywhere from quarter size up to baseball size hail and everything in between. Damage has been reported with the hail that has been so large across the area. We've had some wind damage that has been reported. I've had some conflicting reports with touchdowns of tornadoes. Personally, here in the studio, I have not seen a tornado that has touched down. Doppler radar has had some amazing indicators point to the fact that we do have tornadoes right now across the area, that we have had some tornadoes across the area, at least in Tarrant County and Dallas County. We'll continue to watch that. Right now in Hunt County, emergency managers are sounding the sirens there. I was listening to myself in my ear. If you guys can work on that, I think you have that fixed, so thank you very much for that. We continue to watch a severe thunderstorm warning on the east side of Dallas County. Here's the lake, there's Rockwall, there's Roy City, here's Wiley. This is the southeast corner of Collin County, so that part of Collin County, Hunt County, Kaufman County, and also Rockwall County, all of Rockwall County. You're kind of right in the middle of this right now as that storm moves across the lake. Tawakoni, you'll be in on this here very shortly, but let's put a track on that, because there's our hail core right there in Rockwall right now. There's our track, almost due east. So that arrives, it's 5:32. So it's in Lavon right now. Lavon's up here in Collin, kind of on the not as this part of Collin County where that storm is. It's not as intense there as it is down in Rockwall. So that storm is in Lavon now. Royce City arrival time 5:41. McClendon Chisholm 5:43. Quinlan 5:56. Cache 5:58. West Tawakoni, East Tawakoni about 10 minutes apart. West 6:05, East 6:15, and then Point, Texas, it'll arrive there at 6:16. Let's go back to this Tarrant County storm, Jesse. As I was looking at that just a moment ago when you were talking, I'm looking at that possibly a severe thunderstorm warning coming out for the southern portion of Tarrant and Dallas County down here around Joe Pool, kind of right along the county line. We're looking at, the chance right there. Here's Joe Pool. Look at this. I mean, that could be hail that's possibly up to tennis ball size with these storms right now. So that's going to move through this southern part of Dallas County. Boy, that would create some considerable damage right there. So I believe we're going to have a new thunderstorm warning come out for this southern part of Dallas County and also the southern part of Tarrant County. Mansfield, you've been kind of spared here. You're kind of in between storms. We have this one around Arlington right now and another one down in Johnson. This is Ellis County here. Mansfield, you've been kind of lucky here the last couple of hours. You haven't had a whole lot happen, but you have activity to the north and you have activity to the south. And down in Johnson County, we have that severe thunderstorm warning for Ellis and Johnson County that goes until 6 o'clock. That's the one in Cleburne that produced the tennis ball size hail. The tennis ball to baseball size hail, we had reports of that, but a severe thunderstorm warning should be coming out momentarily for this storm that's moving into the southern portion of southern Tarrant, Dallas County, southwestern Dallas County, for that thunderstorm cell that's right here along the Tarrant, Dallas County line. I know we have some pictures of the hail that has fallen across the area. We'll come back to the radar in just a moment, but as we put those pictures of the hail that has fallen in different areas, and tell me where this is what I was afraid of. This is when I was looking at this data. Jesse, look at the dings here on these cars. When we were looking at that data on Monday, this is the concern we have. So no surprise, Jesse. Unfortunately, we were hopeful that that wouldn't be the case, but this is just classic hail damage. This is in Irving. This is off of Carl Road in Northgate. I wonder if that door opened up, that automatic door opened up due to the wind, and then the wind just blew the hail in. Kind of looks like that, doesn't it? We have 1-inch hail right now in North Arlington at I-30 and Cooper. We have hail that's 1 3/4 inches in Grand Prairie right now. So candidly, I'm a little surprised they haven't issued that thunderstorm warning for southern Tarrant and Dallas County. I'm certain they're working on it, but oh, there it is. Now, where is this? So yeah, southern Dallas County right now, southern Dallas County. Also in southern Tarrant County right now, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that's now been issued for hail that could be golf ball to tennis ball size. So let's go back to the radar. Jesse, I think that box is, yeah, there it is. That's the new warning box. That's the storm. So, I mean, golf ball to tennis ball size hail, that damage that you saw on that automobile there with the looked like a ball peen hammer was taken to the hood of the car and also to that windshield. That's the kind of hail damage that we're going to have with these thunderstorms. So once again, that's, you know, ping pong ball size hail is I think a ping pong ball size is 1.5 inches, 1 3/4, I believe, is golf ball size, but you get the idea. Ping pong, golf ball size hail, and certainly some tennis ball size hail, all possible. There's our track. So the second storm arrives in Love Field, it's 5:36. Second storm arrives in Love at 5:38, so any minute. Downtown Dallas, 5:42. The Dallas Zoo, 5:45. Oak Cliff, 5:46. Duncanville, 5:50. Fruitdale, 5:54. Balk Springs, 6:01. Mesquite, 5:57. Hutchins, 6:03. Lawson, 6:05. And Forney at 6:07. Jason Wheeler is in the studio with us as well. We're going to give you, Jason, just a moment to, I know you're looking at some of those power outages. I'll let you take a look and give us an update in just a second. Just wanted to give you a heads up. I'm coming to you in just a second. But there's our new severe thunderstorm warning that's in Dallas County. Jesse, let's put up a couple tower cams here. You pick. I am looking at some tower cams. Things are starting to clear out in downtown Fort Worth. Let's go to that Fort Worth camera, because Fort Worth, you're in the clear, and the cold front's maybe an hour away from you in Fort Worth, and once that front moves through, you will be in the clear in Fort Worth. But this Fort Worth camera is looking into Dallas County. There's the thunderstorm in Dallas County. I think this is 30 right here. That's 30, of course, eastbound. That's that storm in Dallas County that's dropping the, you know, golf ball, ping pong ball size hail right now in that southern Tarrant. So Fort Worth's in the clear right now. Everything's pushed to the east into Dallas County. Man, it is coming down. Look at the wind just blowing the rain here at Dallas Baptist. Just really, really wind-blown rain, 50, 60 mile per hour winds right now in downtown Dallas. And Jesse, man, it is really coming down at Dallas Baptist right now. That is in the southern portion of Dallas County. Let's put up oh, you can see the flag. Look at the flag right now. Man, just really, really standing at full attention with those strong winds. Jesse, can you put the winds on this? I don't know what the winds are at DBU right now, but they have to be, again, I don't know what they are, but I mean, just a guess, just looking at this, I mean, I don't know, 40 miles an hour or so. The trees don't look like they're that problematic. I know there's some buildings over here sheltering some of that, but certainly when you're looking at a flag that's almost kind of pointed up a little bit, you have some really strong winds. But a severe thunderstorm warning for Dallas Baptist right now. I know the students are in a safe place due to the large, the 60 mile an hour winds, and certainly that golf ball size hail or larger. Yeah, so we have a 43 mile an hour wind right now out at Dallas Baptist. I know we have that second DBU camera. Jesse, can you put that one up? That's down at the bottom of the hill. It's down in this area. It's below the Pilgrim Chapel. It's looking up the hill at the campus. That would be DBU 2, as we call it. And nope, that's okay. We're just kind of flipping through. This is live TV. This is how this works. And as we look up the hill at Dallas Baptist, that will show that second camera. A pretty similar picture right now, and I'll let Jesse work on that. And Danny, you said you have some pictures, and I want to check in with Jason in just a moment. Okay, let's go to Tarrant right now. So things have really started to calm down in Tarrant County. Just kind of the look of this, I don't know where this camera is, but just the look of this, I would suspect that this camera, oh, there's Brentwood Stair Road, most likely eastbound in some fashion right now with this location. And Jason, as we look at this and some of these other cameras that we have, oh, Jesse, can you put up that Cedar Hill camera for me? Can we go back to weather 49? And this Cedar Hill camera that we have, there's our Fair Park camera. Once again, looking, there's our Cedar. This is about 650 feet up right now. Look at the base of this thunderstorm. I mean, this is Joe Pool Lake. Dallas Baptist is up in this area somewhere over in here. So, so Jason, I know you've been checking, we'll put the radar back up, and Jason, I want you to give folks an update on power outages across the area and any other emergency management updates that you have. And Jesse, let's put the radar back up as Jason gives us that update, please.
Yeah, I've been checking around here, Pete, here in just the last little bit. You were talking a lot about Johnson County specifically, and I saw on Johnson County Emergency Management, their Facebook page, they were talking about that golf ball-sized hail that you were discussing earlier at the Walmart. They said it was also affecting the high school there in Johnson County. Let me see if I can pull that up exactly what they put in there. And I just got done texting back and forth with, oh, it was at Cleburne High School, sorry, golf ball-sized hail at Cleburne High School and Walmart. This according to Johnson County Emergency Management's Facebook page. Just texted back and forth with them, and they've sent over some pics of the hail. You're seeing the video of it there coming down just a little while ago. The emergency management person there in Johnson County, though, says so far no injuries and no damage that they can report, but they are confirming that golf ball size hail. You know, as we know, it takes a while for those damage reports to pour in after we see something like this. We can, though, watch in real time what the power outages look like, and those have just exploded here in just this last 20-25 minutes or so as this storm has just sort of barreled across DFW. And if you look at the Encore outage page, you can see exactly the path of the storm as it's made its way through the Metroplex here, just sort of right down the center of it there. We're at more than 6,000 affected customers right now. When I first logged on to here maybe 25 minutes ago, we were at 2,000 something, then it jumped to 4, then it went to 6. So it's been going up exponentially. Not a big surprise considering the size hail that we've been seeing, but also those huge wind gusts and, of course, that lightning that you've been experiencing out there in parts of DFW. We always point out when we look at this, it says active outages there, 180 affected customers, 6,185. Those 6,185, that can be multiple people in the same place there. So multiply that out and you're, let's say you're talking about 4 people in a household. You can see that a lot of people are without power. And that's why we always say to keep that weather app handy on your phone. That way you're able to keep up with what's going on with this dangerous weather as it's rolling through, especially if you've lost power. I think we want to go to Rebecca Lopez now. She is in Oak Cliff to bring us more on what's been going on there. You've been talking about that here in the past couple of minutes, Pete. Hey, Rebecca.
Hey, Jason. So just a little while ago, the storm sirens were sounding here in Oak Cliff, and we have seen a lot of lightning, and the rain has picked up here. My husband sent me a photo of some quarter-size hail that came down at the Pantego-Arlington border, and I can only assume that that is what is headed this way, which is why they are sounding the storm sirens. A lot of lightning, a lot of thunder, and then again, the storm sirens going off. The wind is picking up. And there you go. You can hear the thunder behind me. You can hear the thunder, and then you can obviously see the lightning behind me. And again, we're expecting that hail and some of those higher winds to hit this area here pretty soon. So that's what we're seeing here in Oak Cliff right now, Jason.
I just wanted to ask you, we always wonder how weather aware everyone is being on a day like this. We see the threatening skies out there. We know that our meteorologists here all week have been, talking about this day and particularly these hours, in fact, the 4 to 8 p.m. hours. Yet when I look behind you there, I do see, it's a little bit busy on the street. We know what is headed your way just from not too far from you there. It looks like in a covered area. Have people been trying to get their cars in there? Have they been trying to get under that awning there at the gas station there behind you? Or are they just kind of going about business as usual here?
No, people are going around about business as usual, and it is really starting to rain pretty heavily now. And I can see I-35 just behind my photographer, John Goss, and the cars are still, going. No one seems to be trying to pull over. Traffic is still pretty heavy, and the rain you can see behind me. I'm going to just step out of the way. You can see it is really coming down right now. And again, I can only assume that we're going to get some of that hail, the storm sirens sounding just a little while ago, less than 5 minutes ago. We are under an awning in a safe location, but we have heard thunder and seen a lot of lightning. And as I said earlier, my husband sent me a picture of some quarter-size hail, and it was really coming down, almost like it was raining hail in the Arlington, Pantego area. And so we're going to stay safely here under this awning as we expect that to be hitting here very shortly where we are, Jason.
All right, Rebecca, thanks for the update there from Oak Cliff. Pete, I've had people in my own family who've gone out in weather like this, and they got caught in one of those traffic jams, and the hail came, and everybody got it there in the line.
That's the Texas thing to do, isn't it? Let's. We have a thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning. Let's all go outside and look. I'm telling you, I just don't do that. That's how people get hurt, and it happens every single year. So please just stay inside until this is over with. And if you're like, oh, it's not a big deal, it's some wind, I can see it. Well, again, once again, what about the lightning? And it doesn't play favorites, trust me. So we want you to be smart with this stuff. And right now, we certainly still have the risk of tornadoes. We have the tornado watch in effect until 8 o'clock, but we have this very high hail threat as well. So let's do a quick reset here. If you're just joining us, good evening, everyone. I'm WFAA Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus. Our continuous severe weather coverage started almost 2 hours ago or so, and at this point, I can hear the thunder right now here in the TV studios. We've been watching these thunderstorms. We've had several tornado warnings. Tarrant County, also in Dallas County, we've had reports of some wind damage. We've certainly had reports, multiple videos and pictures of golf ball size hail, reports of tennis ball size hail, baseball size hail that's caused damage across the area. We have flash flooding right now. Although you just heard Rebecca talk about the heavy rain, there was no flash flooding there, but Dallas, big chunk of Dallas County is under a flash flood warning along with Tarrant County until 8 o'clock. I think it's 8:15 tonight for that flash flood warning. And right now we have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings for Dallas County, Rockwall County, and also Hunt County, and this southeastern sliver of Collin County right now. We continue to see winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour. The hail is golf ball size or larger across the area. We have reporters and photographers all across North Texas right now, not just in the Metroplex, but all across North Texas. And right now I want to head to the north, and we're going to come back into right into the Metroplex itself with our reporters that are out in the field, and then we're going to head just down to the south, and then we'll head off to the west where Adriana de Alba is in Fort Worth. But let's start to the north. And Danny, you told me that we have a reporter right now, I believe in Collin County, and William Joy, you're in Dallas. I think you're on the parking garage in that direction off to my right. I heard the thunder. Let me see your picture and tell me what you're experiencing out there, William. Okay, we'll check back in with William in just a second. We now have the report of tennis ball size hail that's happening in Johnson County. That's moving into Ellis County right now. These thunderstorms are producing. That's the one that produced the large hail at Walmart, and I think Jason also said the high school in Cleburne, if I'm not mistaken. This same storm system right now, this is the Johnson-Ellis County line. It's moving toward Waxahachie at this point, although it's not as intense as it was just a short time ago south of Midlothian. Jesse, zoom in on this hail core right here. Let's see what that is. That's certainly at least quarter-size hail right now, but that thunderstorm warning in effect for Ellis and Johnson County until 6 o'clock, right around Griffith, right here on the county line. That's just off to the northwest of you in Maypearl. So that's where that storm is, and that's moving almost due east right now. You can see that hail core. That's the hail core. I shouldn't do this. The hail core is these lighter colored areas. Let's pause that for just a second, Jesse. So right there, see those little pixels, the purples? That's where we have the quarter, maybe up to golf ball size hail. So that's why we want you to stay alert. That's the stuff that creates some problems. Let's go back up to Dallas County. And Jesse, let's go into the city of Dallas right now. I mean, look at this. We just heard the thunder there on Rebecca's live shot. There's our hail core in Dallas. William Joy. William, I know you're up and rolling right now. There you are. You're downtown. What are you seeing? What are you hearing?
So, Pete, the last time that we talked to you, we could see very dark clouds. Kyle Roberts said even a wall cloud is what he spotted in a video that I had tweeted out, possibly behind Reunion Tower. But that has changed. You can see behind us that wall of rain passing through. I want to show you, actually, if you look over just to the left behind me, there's a roof. You can see the rain really coming off the top of it. Not only is the rain coming down strong right now, but the winds are strong as well. We heard those sirens go off maybe about 5-10 minutes ago and stop. But to give you perspective, the last time you talked to us, you might remember that when we pointed this way, we also pointed out that people south of us might not even be experiencing much rain right now. That has obviously changed. This is certainly the heaviest rain that we have experienced so far. Pete?
I think, William, I apologize. You know what, William, what you're looking at, you know what's happened there. This is the same. I was just talking to meteorologist Jesse Huila. See how that wind-blown rain is there across the bridge? That's the part of the storm system that was down at Dallas Baptist just a short time ago. It's now in downtown Dallas. And I mean, that thing has moved, I don't know, 15, 20 miles in just a handful of minutes. It is just flying along. So the very heavy rain. And William, you did say that you've heard the sirens going off?
Yeah, Pete, that was probably about maybe 5-10 minutes ago. We heard those sirens, and I'll tell you, at the time we saw the clouds and the storm moving in, but we didn't actually feel any rain. Right, the rain hadn't started yet. Now we're not hearing the sirens, but we've got this kind of heavy burst of rain and wind to go along with it. Not exactly ideal driving conditions. I'll tell you though, we haven't seen any hail, not even pea-sized hail coming through. I know that was one of the big concerns with this storm, is not just the wind, but the hail, up to tennis ball size hail. And right now we're really just seeing rain. So nothing that would, I think, cause damage beyond the heavy rain. You talked earlier about possibly some flash flood warnings. We've certainly seen a ton of water come in to downtown Dallas in just the past 10-15 minutes. The sky's brightening up a little bit. I don't know if that's any sign of hope that the storm might be moving through, but the rain certainly coming down as strong as it has been.
Okay. We appreciate that. Yeah, and I do have some reports right now of some pea-sized hail mixed in with the rain at Fair Park here in Dallas. So that's just off to the left of that camera shot right there. Let me point this out. Jesse, I thank you for turning the reflectivity up here on this radar. This is the cold front right here. See our cold front? It's just moved through downtown Fort Worth. Let's go to Adriana de Alba. Adriana, you're I don't know where you are. You're somewhere in the greater Fort Worth area. But talk to me about what you're seeing over there. The cold front is almost at your location, depending on where you are in Fort Worth or in Tarrant County. Once that front moves through, the severe weather threat is over with. So give me an update on what you're seeing, where you are at this moment.
You could see up to 24 inches of snow, so 2 feet. Northern Wisconsin,
kind of exactly
similar
what we're
totals, but you'll notice as you head south pretty steadily, you'll see the drop in some of the snow totals indicated here. You'll see those steep cutoffs. So places south into central Wisconsin, you barely will see any of this. This is what I was actually mentioning earlier, Great Lakes ice cover. You'll notice where we do have some coverage. It's especially on the shorelines, but it's not necessarily what happens along the shore that really matters all that much. We think about the winds working over that, and the winds are relatively colder than the water. So the water's actually relatively warmer, and that feeds what we call that lake enhanced snow. So that really gets efficient snow totals to happen. Again, it's unusual this season, and this graphic tells the story here. Look at each and every season. Over the last several, you can see 2022, for example, you had 37% of ice cover on the Great Lakes. This is all of the Great Lakes combined. This year, 7%. No, it's not unprecedented. You see a few other seasons also pretty much just as low as the number that we're seeing. But for the most part, your average is greater than what we're seeing. What I'll highlight here, this yellow-orange line, that's the average snow cover into the months of the year. Where we're at right now, you can see well below that average. So it is an unseasonably warm season, that even creating for higher snow totals. Kelly.
All right, so I believe we got some footage to show you of hail that was falling all across Texas. It's Grandview, Texas. A little bit tough to see. This is actually a live look. This is from Bredadera Live Storms Media in Grandview, Texas. Obviously can see the windshield wipers going at it. The rain is just coming down, and we've had reports of hail 2-3 inches in diameter and size, that likely causing extensive damage to anything outside, including, well, there are going to be a lot of car insurance claims. Let me tell you about that. But we still have that threat for some damaging wind and large hail all across the Ark-La-Tex region, really for the rest of the night. Still have a tornado threat, although the silver lining here is that as we head into the late night hours, that tornado threat is lessened quite a bit. Not that I want to rule anything out, but here's that large hail threat. We have the potential for not only hail greater than 1 inch in diameter, but potentially 2 inches in diameter.
Taller than
1 inch
P
can cause
that's
a lot.
coming down
so
from time
for
to time.
Dallas, there we are at 7 o'clock.
You can really
Dallas
see it stand
is
off
really
with
in
the
the midst of a
contrast.
severe
In fact, I actually
thunderstorm
just got
right
the photo.
now. That one goes.
The contrast between the ground here. Here, let me try to pick. You can kind of see maybe here down at the ground. Can you see that at all? That's just kind of, it's against the dark background is where you can maybe see it the best. That's really the size we're dealing with. Nothing that's going to cause damage to, a car or a roof or anything like that, but certainly kind of a sign of the storm that we're dealing with right now, Pete.
Yes, you're absolutely right. That's maybe nickel size, something like that. Severe is the size of quarters or larger. And right now, as we go back to the radar, we're queuing up some video that we have of some hail from just a short time ago. We'll show you that in just a second. But as we go back to the radar, I have some new thunderstorm warnings, and I got to tell you, I'm concerned right now with some of these thunderstorms that are moving from Dallas County into this part of Kaufman County. We have some thunderstorm warnings right now for Ellis County. Ellis County, here's Ellis, Johnson and Navarro County. So let's zoom out, Jesse, just a little bit. Let me show folks what is happening, because the Collin, Dallas, Hunt, and Rockwall County severe thunderstorm warnings, that has now, this is expired, or it's getting ready to be canceled here. That goes until, I think, 6 o'clock. So this is going to be canceled. The severe part of the thunderstorm right now is right here, and then that is going to be moving right into Kaufman County. So Kaufman, you'll have a thunderstorm warning here momentarily, but some damage in Ellis, Johnson, and also in Navarro counties. So we'll watch that thunderstorm as it moves across out of Johnson into Ellis and then down into Navarro County here very, very shortly. So we'll watch those thunderstorms as they continue to move from the west to the east across the area. Let's go, Jesse, show me that DMA map if we can. There we go. So this is thunderstorm activity that initiated off the dry line. This is our cold front, and that cold front extends from right here. Jesse, do we have another map? Can we show that cold front? Did you? I thought I saw you working on one just a moment ago. There's our cold front. So it's in northern, look at that. It's 55 in Sherman, it's 68 in McKinney, 55 Sherman, 68 in Bonham, and then it's 51 up in Wichita Falls. This is the same storm system that's dumped snow across the Rockies. It produced all the snow and the rain across California and then across Arizona, New Mexico. Southern Rockies has seen a lot of snow with this. I mean, it's been yet another very, very dynamic system. This is one of those, I was counting the atmospheric river storms this morning that have moved from the Pacific and that have battered the west coast of the United States. And if I remember correctly, I think I counted 11 of them so far this season. We've been impacted by a number of those. Some of them have stayed to the north of us, but this is 2 weeks in a row now that those west coast storms have now moved into our part of Texas. And there's going to be another one as we move through next week. I think it's the 21st and 22nd that's going to be rolling into the west coast again in California. And so that one will have an impact on us next week. And right now it's a little uncertain as far as severe weather goes, but we'll of course watch that. And I think that's I can't remember what dates the 21st and 22nd are next week, but mid to late week next week, we could have another severe weather outbreak here in Dallas-Fort Worth. 71 at Waxahachie, 60 in Decatur. So once the front moves through, you're clear. Jesse, go back to that map of the tornado watch because it's all of North Texas until 8. But Denton right now, I mean, I don't know if you can put that cold front on here, Jesse, but these areas, Graham and Bowie, Decatur and Gainesville, Denton, Mineral Wells, the cold fronts come through. So you're still under a tornado watch technically, but you don't have any threat of severe weather. The National Weather Service, they issue these along with the Storm Prediction Center up in Norman. I know they'll be technically dropping this, but if you're in Graham and Bowie, I don't want you to think, my gosh, we still have the threat of severe weather, because once the front comes through, you're going to have some wind, some strong winds tonight, gusts of 30 to 50, falling temperatures as I just showed you on that map. And in addition to that, you're also going to have, many of us have the chance of a freeze this Saturday and Sunday due to that strong cold front. Right now, though, it's 6 o'clock. I want to do another quick reset and let you know what's happening. And good evening, everyone. I'm WFAA Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus. Our severe weather coverage, it's continuous severe weather coverage. We started going on TV this afternoon about 3 o'clock.
Morgan, yeah, thanks for watching Fox Weather this evening. This severe weather threat, well advertised a couple of days ago, that very likely threat, and you see which city was in the bullseye, Dallas.
And it's really been the most intense part of these storms so far, funneling right within that metro.
We have a cold front that's moving through, and we're going to have a lot more on the cold front because we're seeing some of those temperatures drop some 10, 20 degrees in a matter of a couple of hours. But let's get to that Fox Weather alert because we're still watching the severe weather moving through the Metroplex. We've seen storms in Fort Worth. They moved through, and then Fort Worth welcomed more storms. We were waiting on a cold front to move through, and it's what happens. Before this cold front moves on through, we've got that threat for severe weather, and that certainly remained the case, and that's going to continue to be the case as we're taking a look earlier out of Fort Worth, that swirling sky. You could see some of that rotation aloft, none of that reaching the ground. We did, for a couple of moments, have tornado warnings in Fort Worth, also in Dallas, but it's been an active afternoon right in this zone. We're starting with that tornado watch, which continues. It's running until 8 o'clock Central Time, so we have this for a couple of more hours, and we're also going to be looking as storm trackers have been out watching these storms from earlier this afternoon in Duncan, Oklahoma, where we saw a nasty line of storms push on through. Those storms continue to work off to the east. As long as we're on the eastern side, the warm side of this cold front, we're going to still deal with that severe weather threat. So focusing in on where the severe weather is, we've got some moisture out ahead, well out ahead. That's just some rain. Nothing concerning there, at least for now. A couple of clusters. One up in southeastern Oklahoma, and then the other one from about Dallas Point south. So narrowing in and focusing in on where that cold front is, really important here, as we've had winds that have been incredibly strong. Look at this recent gust out of Dallas, 48 miles an hour out of the south. Now, as this storm and as this front moves on through, we're going to get a quick shift in the direction. I mean, we're talking 180 degrees here because Graham has a north wind right now, 33 degrees. Remarkably enough, we had rain in Amarillo. It's now snowing as this cold front is slicing through Texas. Ardmore, Childress, Abilene, now on the western side of this cold front, and we still have some pretty powerful winds. Wind advisories remain in effect well into the overnight hours. So despite these storms that are moving on through, we have that just wind threat that's going to be around. Now, a few of these wind gusts are associated with some storms, and these have been the nasty storms that have been moving through parts of the Metroplex. So we're zooming in right now where we have this continued severe thunderstorm warning. It's right over Dallas right now. As of last check, this was producing perhaps ping pong ball size hail. That's about 1.5 inches in diameter. The town of Duncanville, we have the storms just off to the west. This line is moving off to the east. No tornadic threat associated with this cluster of storms at the moment, but it wouldn't take much to see a little bit of rotation. Regarding the type of hail that we're seeing right now, evidence, this is radar indicated, that we're seeing east of Dallas right now, that quarter-size hail, so slightly bigger just to the east of downtown Dallas, and then to the west of Duncanville, perhaps detecting some penny-size hail, which is better and also sub-severe, but anytime these storms can develop a pretty healthy updraft, and it's actually what we have seen this afternoon. As we had mentioned, tennis ball size hail in some of these storms. That's 2.5 inches in diameter. That's an impressive storm. One thing that we've also been following has been the rain, this flooding threat that we will continue to have as we head into the overnight hours. The good news is that there's nothing more out to the west. Once this cold front swings through, we're drying out. So some of the flooding concerns that we have is more so immediate as these storms move through. But the problem that happened in Fort Worth earlier, we had a storm move through. It was tornado warned. And then an additional storm developed, and that's what prompted this flash flood warning for the Fort Worth area. Farther to the south in Waxahachie, we have this severe thunderstorm warning. Maypearl right now, Bardwell, Ennis, and Palmer. Here's I-45, and we also have I-35. So the two corridors right now involved in this severe thunderstorm warning. This storm for Ellis County, and it's moving off to the east until about 6:45. We have that severe thunderstorm warning. Farther to the south, if you head south on I-35, we've got another storm, and this is all associated with the cold front now. We had some indications that earlier this afternoon, a dry line was inspiring a few of these storms, but this cold front's pretty strong and it's moving pretty quick. And oftentimes we'll see that cold front catch up to the dry line if the dry line doesn't retreat. Nonetheless, we've got these storms that are still developing along a line, and we'll probably see a lot more of an organized line as we head later into the evening. We're looking right now at Waxahachie. That was the storm we were just looking at. This storm with the severe thunderstorm warning in Bell County, Texas, runs until 6:30. It also is making that approach between Waco and, let's say, Salado, and this storm also producing some large hail. So watching pretty carefully all of these storms. We also want to check in quickly in Oklahoma, southeastern Oklahoma. This is where we've begun to see that more linear formation. Antlers, Oklahoma, all the way down to Durant, we have severe thunderstorm warnings. These storms all moving off to the east, producing more of a damaging wind threat. But storms, as we had said, continue to move through the Dallas-Fort Worth area, the Metroplex. So let's take a live look right now in Dallas. DFW, they've been getting walloped by severe weather. This is a live look right now in Dallas. It's 64 degrees. We saw temperatures warm up to about 70. You typically, and if you look closely, you could see Reunion Tower there. The Trinity River is in the background. You could almost see those two bridges, the Margaret McDermott Bridge and the Margaret Hunt Hill Bridge. But the visibility is pretty low. Let's check in with Fox Weather's Brandy Campbell live in Dallas, where we've seen large hail, tornado warnings. Brandy, even evidence of perhaps a funnel cloud over Fort Worth. What are you dealing with right now?
There's a lot going on, Stephen, out here. I'll tell you right now, it is pretty ugly out here. You can see downtown behind me. It is dark skies. The rain, it's coming down pretty hard, but even with that happening, there are still so many cars out on the interstate. You can see that behind me, 18-wheelers, everybody, at this point, leaving work still. It's only 6 o'clock Central Time here. So people are leaving work, going home, hopefully, and having to drive through these elements. I myself moved to this location not far from my hotel. We're now in a parking garage covered, but just on my short drive over here, it started to hail. So I even experienced just a little bit of that. It wasn't big, maybe quarter size, but still, that's quite a distraction if you're out on the road, especially here on the interstate. I even noticed some of the street flooding already starting to happen. So people bobbing and weaving, trying to avoid those puddles on the side of the road. So this storm definitely causing some disruption. And even if you're out here just standing outside like I am, you can feel the temperature. It feels like it's getting cooler out here already. And we know that it's going to happen, especially going in tomorrow. We're going to wake up and it's going to be a much cooler day. But thankfully, the worst of this, the tornado warnings, are over. We went through that. We had the sirens going off. I was taking shelter in my hotel. Unfortunately, not everybody was aware of what was going on. Some people asking me, is there something we need to be concerned about? Yes, while there were other people asking where can we take shelter. So thankfully that part is over, but of course we're still dealing with the heavy rain. And like I said, we just had some hail come through this area. But for now, it's just a rain event and unfortunately a very busy city out here. Back to you.
Yeah, it's the timing that's really the worst, right, Brandy? I mean, we're right by rush hour, as you mentioned, those storms moving through. You can see the courthouse, actually a unique courthouse there in Dallas, just over your shoulder. Been there a time or two. Let me know what you're looking at. I mean, you are focused and facing west, so toward Fort Worth. Eventually, we might see the sun. I think that we had reports of a rainbow over Fort Worth. I mean, do you see any clearing off in the distance?
Not headed this way. Now, Fort Worth, like you said, it's in front of me. The sky is brighter in that direction. But as of now, I don't see any clear skies. But I'll go ahead and take a better look, and I'll let you guys know in the next live shot.
Hey, it only takes maybe about 20 minutes. These storms are moving off at about 40, 45 miles an hour or so. Thanks for being the eyes on the ground there, Brandy, because these storms moving through the Metroplex certainly did rock the city as you experienced some of that hail. Of course, we'll be checking in as some of that colder air moves in. Glad you have your jacket on, too, because those temperatures are dropping. Marissa.
Yeah.
And Stephen, we got some incredible live views of the storms currently playing out just to the south of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This one out of Waxahachie. In fact, you were talking about the severe thunderstorm warning there. You can see these supercells have been incredibly vivid throughout the day. And you can see as they continue to push forward, we've had incredible views of the shelf clouds as they forge ahead. The rain, the wall of rain, the rain shaft that is also going to be there into the right. Now, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. It's currently over Waxahachie. You have I-35 east, and this particular storm, it is moving east at about 40 miles per hour. And by the way, this is from Brandon Ivy out there, currently situated and facing that storm. The hazards with this one, guys, is going to be golf ball size hail, which is about, generally speaking, about 2 inches in diameter, which we've seen throughout the day today, if not larger, and also those wind gusts of about 60 miles per hour. This is not a tornado warning, nor does it have that tornado possible tag. Important to point that out, but either way, when you're seeing hail that's about 2 inches in diameter, if not larger, that could easily, chip out a window, head through a window, break a window, and also you want to make sure you're taking cover because of all the hazards associated with that. So we're going to keep an eye on it, but wanted to bring that to you. In the meantime, let's time it out because we're not done yet. Stephen was checking in on the radar. We have a long way to go until we see this front finally clear off and head towards the Atlantic. For that severe threat for the remainder of your Thursday, we're seeing a lot of these supercell clusters coming out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And the one I showed you again was just the one you're looking at actually just below me. That is just to the south and a little to the west of Dallas and Waxahachie. Everything's progressing to the east. We're going to see the extension of this cold front further off to the south, San Antonio, Austin, even towards Houston, where we could see some severe thunderstorms, and then all the way into Alexandria as you head in towards Shreveport, Texarkana, and further into Arkansas. But this is the area of concern, I think, at least for the next couple of hours. These storms not moving incredibly fast. Because we don't have fast movement, we could see some pretty strong storms that are then dropping a lot of rain. The other threat associated with this is going to be the flood situation. Are you dealing with flash flooding after some of these storms roll through? And again, at not a very fast pace. And we do have a flash flood warning just to the east of Dallas. West. So the large hail threat, this has been a main threat throughout the night so far, I should say afternoon, where it's been anywhere from about 2 to 3 inches in size. And again, the darker the shade of purple, the more likely it is. And that's what you're seeing right over the Dallas area, where you have that potential for 2 inches in diameter or larger. And boy, has that been playing out. I mean, the photos we've been seeing of some of the hail falling from the sky, you can tell that this ball of ice has been tossed up and down in these updrafts and downdrafts, and it continues just to collect that super cooled water onto it, and it looks a little bit bumpy, like a ball of cookie dough. The tornado threat. We are still going to watch this into the night. Now, there are some areas where it looks like there's a little bit less wind shear and some areas where there's a little bit more low-level wind shear. Either way, all of you are in that opportunity of that it's possible. So take that seriously. Always make sure your notifications are ready to go, especially because the sun's going to be setting in a little bit. We're not going to get incredible, vivid pictures like the one we're showing you now, especially when they're rain-wrapped. You can see that as we head into tonight, you get a little bit more linear setup instead of
Yeah, right. That's probably the new one. It's like a right here, point 2, right at the top. There's definitely rotation there. Yeah, right there. Oh, in the middle, right there. In the middle, right there. I see that. You're seeing what I'm seeing. Whoa, that is a steep road. Oh no. Yeah, it's rotating right there. Right there, you see it? Yeah. That's the new lowering that's trying to form. Yep. It's a little bit high based. We just got to get back in front of it. Yeah, that actually might be a funnel up there.
Sure. And it's right along the Gulf Coast and along this cold front that we'll have to watch pretty carefully, because come Friday, while the risk is not as high, we have a pretty large swath of the Gulf Coast, all the way from Louisiana, Baton Rouge, east into Tallahassee. It includes Panama City and Pensacola. And boy, what terrible news I have for spring breakers in Florida, as we're going to see a lot of rain this weekend, and it's associated with this front, which is slicing on through. We'll also keep up on the storm trackers. This one's Jason Cooley beneath here. Waxahachie is where he's watching this storm moving on through, which Marissa had mentioned has some pretty significant hail, about golf ball size hail or so. This severe weather threat, though, that we have for tomorrow, it does encompass tornadoes. These tornadoes will likely be along a line of storms as they push off to the east. Damaging winds also going to be a possibility. Of course, when we talk about a linear formation of storms, that straight line wind threat is certainly there. And we might have evidence of it by about noon tomorrow through Mobile down into New Orleans. You can see, and as that system and as that front works off to the east, that threat's going to continue. We might see it ramp up, and this makes sense. We have the afternoon heating, especially if we get some breaks in the overcast through Georgia down into Alabama, maybe some decent storms developing. But we're still going to deal with rain. You see the rain in Louisiana, up in Mississippi. Things just get a little messier along the Gulf Coast as these fronts work on through. You don't really see the noticeable shift in wind. It'll happen, and we will get cooler, but especially as we get into Florida, things become quite rainy and stormy Friday night. That's going to persist into Saturday and maybe even Sunday. See how it just washes out? We don't really have a clear indication that, hey, the fronts move through. And what's clear, well, when we have temperatures in the 80s ahead of the front, and now we have them in the 50s and 60s. I'm talking about Abilene, Texas, as that front worked through this afternoon. But the flooding threat's also going to be there, essentially from Houston. There's Galveston Bay there, east into Lake Charles, right into Montgomery, Alabama, Atlanta, and the Carolinas. It's a lower end threat, and that's an indication that storms are going to get going, so we like that. But in New Orleans, Marissa will be watching that significant temperature drop. I don't remember what city you were showing us. Was it Nashville yesterday or Memphis, where we had 70s and 50s? Dallas. Name one of them, right? That had that cold front. That's what we're going to see in New Orleans by Friday and Saturday.
You know, the one blessing with this cold front is it does seem to be undercutting some of these storms, which can help take away some of that instability. But we're going to continue to watch that. In the meantime, want to get a check-in now from on the road. LSM storm tracker Michael Beard has been out tracking these storms throughout the afternoon in the Lone Star State and is joining us now. I believe, Michael, you're within the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But first, give me a lay of the land. Where are you? What do you see?
Right now, I'm in a small city called Haltom City. It's about 10 miles northeast of downtown Fort Worth, just north of the 35 area. Right now, I'm actually at an area called Little Fossil Creek, which the last time we had major rains, this entire parking lot was underwater. Right now, this creek is usually maybe 2-3 inches deep and maybe a foot wide, and right now it is up to the edge of the parking lot for this baseball park. That's pretty much what we've seen for the most part is flooding, but it'll come and then it'll go away just as fast.
It is interesting you point that out, because a couple of things I want to get to with you, and one of them is the rain. And you mentioned earlier that you had noticed
I think I have
once
my
we
mic up
had
now.
a
Yep.
storm roll through.
Yeah, so they're in the
that
boonies
the
a little
roads
bit.
were already
They'll
taking on
probably
some of
get
that water, and
back to
flooding
service
seemed to be
soon
one
when
of
we
the
turn
bigger
down
things that
their
were taken
feed
away.
here.
This was
This is
after
the cell.
you had
You could
also
just
talked
see that
about
the
seeing
radar
a
just
funnel
updated.
that was
This
then
is what we
quickly
were talking about
rain-wrapped,
before with
and
the
later the National
green
Weather Service
next to the
confirming that
red.
from spotters as a confirmed tornado. But
This
walk
is
me through the
showing
flooding
rotation.
situation and how this has
This
also
is not
just been playing
showing
out with all the
super
severe
strong.
weather we've been seeing across Texas.
Well, it started off with just that single storm, and then it kept back building. And now that the cold front's finally coming through, the storms, the severe part for Tarrant County had kind of gone away, but the storms kept back building. So the same area north of
Layers on layers of stuff here. You know, this doesn't have the classic defined hook